We're gonna get straight into this. If you haven't been here before, my name is Leilani. I talk about all things healing, transformation, and the mind-body-spirit connection. And lately, sharing the things that need to be shared, okay? There's no schedule. There's no prior topic. This is really just spirit leading me to share this with y'all. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel, like, comment, share. Again, subscribe. I also have a newsletter on Substack, and I'm on Instagram and Threads at iam.leilani. Your support will mean the world to me, and really needing to get these messages shared with those that need it. So let's get into it, guys. It is about 10 o'clock right now, and I'm usually in bed already, but lately I've been led to really give messages whenever. It could be whenever, but nighttime seems to be the time. And anyways, I'm speaking to a collective right now, and this is the same collective, okay? This is a specific collective that found this video. Maybe you watched my previous video. If you haven't, I have a few up in connection to this. And essentially, the person watching this video is somebody who kind of already faced their crossroads. You know, in my last episode, or the episode before, I was talking about you feeling that you were at a crossroads and having to, you know, essentially come to a decision, or feeling like you were in a waiting period, and that this waiting period was coming to an end. So this is not just a reminder, but confirmation for you that the waiting period is over, okay? The time is now, okay? And you know this, you too are someone who may have gotten those intuitive hits, you know, those messages from God, and you really maybe had some fear. Maybe there was fear because there was a big period of time that you felt like you were in the dark. And a lot of times, you know, people don't really talk about this, but it's one thing to ask for, you know, shining light and being in the light, right? But part of light, right? The light shines on everything. Okay? So that includes the shadows. And when the light shines brighter, you're going to see more shadows, okay? And when we bury those shadows, when we put those shadows, you know, try to tuck them in, stuff them in, and then we get called to light, everything is just shown. Everything is just shown. And when we speak on this in I guess more practical terms, this can look like maybe you've had a bad habit that you've been trying to maybe be more responsible with, or really just end it, right? And to a certain degree, you know it's not something that's good for you, right? But when we speak about shining light, right? Shining light essentially is bringing more awareness and more clarity and more like just undeniable conviction to release those old beliefs, those old patterns, those old ways of being, those old ways of doing, those old ways of speaking, okay? to the point where it's like you might even on a physical level reject those things, right? Like that's literally how it can feel for you right now, where what once brought you so-called peace, or what once brought you a sense of, you know, just ease, or a feeling of comfort, is now actually causing you more anxiety, more stress, more doubt. And because of this, essentially these habits, these thought patterns, these beliefs, these shadows are coming so far up to surface, right? Because before they were dimmer, right? They were hidden, right? Because the light wasn't being shined on them as much. So really there wasn't anything to see. It was there, but it was hard to see. But now you can see it so clearly. Now it, like, physically you can feel it so clearly that you are being convicted and you are being guided. I'll use that too. You're being guided, you're being led, and also in a way, like, there's just this, yeah, you're like being compelled to just break it off, okay? Break it off. And obviously that's not easy. That's not easy, right? Anyone that's been experiencing this, and I'm sure that you've experienced this more than once. You've gone through this more than once. Maybe it wasn't the same habit, maybe it wasn't the same pattern, but you know what this is like. You know what it's like to see your own shadow, okay? And not really like what you see, right? And this can also include the reflection in the mirror. This could also include not even able to look at yourself in the mirror, okay? Because there are things that you can see that you don't like, that you know would be of the highest good to transform, okay? And this isn't to guilt trip or to shame, because the shame spiral does not help, okay? The shame spiral does not do anything for us. And now that this waiting season is over, you need to fully break off those chains of shame, okay? Of shame, of guilt, of resentment. What else is there? Pride, anger, jealousy, bitterness. But ultimately, if you're going down in the emotional, what is that called? Like your emotional scale, shame is like the lowest you can go, right? So if you really want to get to the root, you know, if you want to really just break it all off, right? Transform it all, you guys. Then what is behind those initial reactions? What is behind those initial actions? What is behind those initial doubts or decisions that you make that you know are coming from fear and not love? And in the waiting season, you were going through the back and forth. You were kind of experiencing both. You were experiencing what it is to live in love, right? Live through love. And also, you were wavering and experiencing what it is to live in fear, embody fear, really. So now that you kind of understand and have experienced these different aspects, right? These different extremes. Then now, as always, but now, most importantly, now you choose, right? You choose. So again, now that the waiting season is over, you've already chosen. You've already chosen. That's why you're here right now. Okay? You've already chosen. And now it's a matter of allowing the transformation to unfold before your eyes. Allowing the change to not just be witnessed by you, but by others. Okay? And not because it needs to be, but because that is part of the divine plan. It is part of the divine plan that your transformation is not just a witness to yourself, but it is witnessed by those around you. You breaking off those habits, you breaking off those limiting beliefs, you breaking off those illusions that were never really serving you in the first place, right? You choosing to break generational trauma and generational curses, that we can call that, right? You being that example, that embodiment of what it is to transform. Yes, it is for you, because you are the individual that is experiencing it, but your transformation is essentially an effect, a domino effect for those and everyone around you, okay? Because really, it's not about you. It isn't. As much as we would love for it to be about us, it's not about you. It's not. And there is freedom. There's a lot of freedom in not making it about you. And trust me, you guys, I have been through this. I've been humbled. I've been humbled multiple times to come to a genuine place of gratitude and peace that, yeah, it's not about me. It's not. And actually, that's a wonderful thing. It's actually quite beautiful. And while, yeah, it's, there tends to be extremes in life, right? But we can actually find a harmonious medium, we can call it, right? In certain components, in certain life aspects. And that being that, yeah, selfishness, to be selfish, is generally considered to be a bad thing, right? But self, right? It's emphasizing the self, okay? So that in itself could also be biased. It could look different on different people, okay? But when you prioritize the self, when you prioritize yourself for the sake of just contributing to yourself, again, just thinking about yourself and thinking about how it's just gonna help serve you, you know, whether that be your status or, you know, your finances or your reputation or whatever it is that us as humans can focus on, right? If it's all about you without the intention or without even the conviction to serve and to genuinely be of service and support another person, more people, like bring people up with you. You get what I'm saying? So now what I really need to say now is that maybe, just maybe, you've been selfish to the point where you really didn't care about anybody. You didn't care about anybody because no one's told you, or rather no one, or maybe you just didn't listen. And I say this with love. I say this with love because I'm speaking to my past self, okay, that either no one told you or someone tried to tell you but you did not listen, that it is not about you. It is not about you. And when you can find the excitement in that, when you can find the gold nuggets in that, it also lifts a lot of the weight off. It lifts so much of the weight off, because if you are constantly thinking about yourself and how something is going to serve you, well, how is life feeling right now? Let's be real. How is it feeling right now thinking about you all the time? And maybe, you know, maybe you have wanted to reach out to that person. Maybe you have been wanting to start that thing, or, you know, collaborate with that person, or, you know, whatever, try something new. Maybe you have. Maybe you've had these ideas. Maybe you've had these, you know, these whispers and these feelings of, yeah, like that's something that I want to do. That's something that actually feels and seems exciting for me. I just don't know. I don't really know how. I don't know how to approach it. I don't know what to, you know what I mean? So if you're feeling that way, if you're feeling like maybe you just don't know where to start, or there is that aspect of guilt or shame for XYZ reasons, just know that God loves you no matter what. God loves you no matter what. God has always loved you. God continues to love you. And God is loving you through this transformation. God is loving you through these different periods and seasons and just all these iterations of you. God loves every single version of you. Okay? And now again that the waiting period is over, right? Waiting period is over, meaning you either already have or must make a decision, okay, And as you do so, as you are anchored in it, as you are confident in your decision, okay, your yes or your no, or just you declaring what is yours, you are the transformation. You are the transformation. So it's not necessarily something outside of you. Maybe it seems like it. Maybe it seems that this thing is changing, right? This relationship, or this situation, or this opportunity is changing, but it's only reflecting what is occurring inside. It's only reflecting what is occurring inside of you. So, yeah, maybe it looks a little messy. Maybe it does. Maybe you cannot title it right now. Maybe you cannot, put a little bow tie and call it a day, right? Maybe it is a little messy, but it's your messy. It's your messy, and that's okay. And yeah, maybe you do also want it to be a little cleaner, right? Maybe you want it to be a little cookie cutter, if that is your taste, right? It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be, but if that's what you want it to be, then part of that refinement that has already been taking place, but translating the refinement, or rather anchoring in what was refined, is your decision. And it is the continuous dedication to embodying, meaning you as a spirit, as a soul, having a human vessel, what is occurring within is being expressed outward, is being expressed through this vessel that you have. Okay? And so forth, that will physicalize, and you will see that in every aspect of your life, right? Whatever area you might be focusing on. It might be all of them, it might be some of them, it might be one of them, but that's all being reflected by what is occurring within you right now, at this present time. So maybe the message was a little, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But just know that you are transforming right now. And that's why it's probably felt a little bit weird. That's probably why it's felt a little bit, That's probably why there's things happening, or why you're having conversations, or why, you're feeling things that you thought you would never feel. And you might be experiencing and seeing things that you thought you'd never see or experience. That's all occurring for a reason. That's all occurring because it is reflecting the transformation that is occurring inside of you. So know that everything that is occurring is something that you've asked for.